Hi everyone, welcome to Sandy B Stitches, episode 1. This is my very first episode, so welcome to everybody. My name is Valerie. I live here in Oklahoma City with my husband and my 2 kids. I have a daughter and a son, and I am wanting to have a channel where I can document all of the different things I'm making. I'm mostly a knitter, but that's just started in the last maybe 3 years or so. During the pandemic. But my mom has knit for over 10 years and always been showing me and getting me interested in things. And before that, I was really into cross stitch. And then I sewed a lot for my kids when they were really little. I would make them blankets and curtains for their rooms and car seat covers and just little odd things here and there. But my mom and both of my grandmothers are quilters and sewers. So I've grown up around creative people my entire life, and I've always had that kind of mentality and that I can come up with something. My dad's also super creative and always coming up with ways to fix things in unique ways. And so I think I've just been around it so much that I don't know anything different. And I don't feel like it's anything special, but watching other people out there making things and then talking with people who aren't as creative minded as some of us might be, and they're just kind of amazed at what makers are doing and creating. And I just thought, why not document what I am doing too? And then if it helps somebody, it does. And if it doesn't, it's just an awesome way to go back and look and see at all the things that I've been making over the years. And maybe it can inspire somebody to make something else, just like I get inspired when I watch other makers. So I really want to be intentional with this channel and spend the time wisely that people are watching, as well as my own time. But I also wanted to really be intentional with how I started each episode. And I want to start with something that's good, because let's face it, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. We all know in the world that we don't want to know about and that we feel kind of helpless sometimes. And so I just wanted to start each episode with something that's good. So what's good today is that the sun is out. We've had some cold weather here in Oklahoma, and it kind of fluctuates, and we get a couple days of really pretty sunshiny weather, and then it gets cold again and maybe snows a little bit and melts, and we think it's going to start getting warmer, and then it gets cold again. So I am very happy for the good of the sun today. The other thing that's really good today is both of my kids are feeling better and are back at school today. So my daughter got sick a couple weeks after school started back up after the winter break, and has been kind of fighting different things here and there for the last couple weeks. And then my son got sick over last weekend as well with something similar. So they finally are getting better and are back at school, and were able to go to their class Valentine parties yesterday. So that's also really good for both of them. And that was really fun for me, for them to come home and show me all of the things that they did and talk about the different Valentines and all of their friends and the excitement there. So that's what's good for me today. I would love to hear if you guys want to comment down below what is good in your life, because I know we all have stuff that's not good going on, but I want to choose on this channel to focus on what is good. So the first things I want to talk about today are some knitting and crochet projects that I have finished recently. I've been trying really hard in the last year or so to upload all of my details, as much as possible at least, onto Ravelry.com for my projects. And it was really fun over 2023 to be able to see all of my projects, what I had accomplished, and I just want to continue that into 2024 and be a little bit even more detailed on there and upload pictures and the dates of when I start something and when I finish it. No real timeline, but it's just fun for me personally. No real goal either, just to see what all I've been making. So the first thing I want to talk about today is something that I finished for my son. And my kids really love being creative too. And so during the pandemic, when I was learning how to knit, they wanted to learn with mom because I was homeschooling at the time. And so we just wanted to do it as a project together. And so he's always been really interested in the things that I'm knitting and making and putting together. He wants to come up with his own ideas for, you know, a hat he wants me to make, and he wants to pick out the colors and things. So the other day we were at Hobby Lobby. I was getting some yarn to make some hats for my dad, and he grabbed some red yarn and said, "Mom, I really want you to make me a hat, and I want it to be an OU hat," because he loves the Sooners, which is really funny because both myself and my husband graduated from Oklahoma State University. Now, we represent both schools because my dad went to OU and my brother and I went to OSU, but we grew up always watching OU and cheering for them. So being in a coach's family, we always are supporting anybody in the state. So anyway, long story short, he's really into OU right now, and he wanted me to make him an OU hat. So he picked out this red yarn and had this grand scheme. "Oh, Mom, you can do anything, right? I want you to make me a red hat, and I want it to say OU across the front. Can you do that?" Of course, of course. So I got that extra challenge. I can do a hat, but the OU was a little bit more challenging. So I'll go ahead and show it to you. This is the classic cuffed hat by Pearl Soho. And this is actually, I guess this is my second time making it. I made this pattern, just the basic, not the OU, but I made this for my dad with some yarn from Hobby Lobby as well. And then I turned around and started this hat for him immediately because he kept asking, "Mom, is my OU hat done?" So anyway, it's a really great pattern. It's got a really pretty finish to it on the top. And I kind of tacked down his cuff so it wouldn't come unrolled because he's an elementary school boy, so he's always out active and tumbling around, and I wanted it to stay put for him. And then the OU with the white yarn actually is my first time duplicate stitching. So that was a little bit of a challenge for me, and I'm not super impressed with how it turned out, but for people that don't know knitting, there's no way they would know anything different. So I think it's really cute. The other cool thing about this hat is my mom, the one who I told you is a knitter, she had gotten some of this white yarn, and it's a glow-in-the-dark yarn. I need to find the name of it and put it into my Ravelry details for this project. But when the lights are off, the OU glows. So it's so cute. It's cute on him. And my dad is super happy because he's got another OU fan in the family. So I had some extra red yarn left. And my son, like I said, he's super active. He's always playing outside, but he likes to bundle up. So I wanted to make him a little scarf to match his hat. And he has a scarf that his grandmother made him. Not my mom, my mother-in-law. But you know how when they hang, and then if you're moving at all in the wind or being a kid and running around outside, it comes undone or falls off. So I made him a cowl neck scarf. I'm actually going to put it on because it turns out the child size in this pattern fits really good on me, and I kind of want to make one for myself. So it matches his red hat, and it's super cute. I'm going to have to get the name of it. It is hold on a second. Okay, I'm going to get the hang of this. This is all new to me. I'm having all of my ducks in a row, but like I said, I'm trying to be better about inputting things into Ravelry. So this is the Rainbow Cowl by Madeline Bervaux. And the pattern online, you see these pearl ridges or bumps are all different colors. So they would have a stripe of red and then orange and so forth through the rainbow. And I made 8. I felt like that was the right amount. And excuse me. But I just wanted it to match his hat, like I said. So I think it turned out really cute. And I actually cast on one of these and just finished it the other day for my husband to go along with his same problem, that the scarf in the Oklahoma wind is just blowing everywhere, and he just needs something simple as a guy to pop on, and then he doesn't have to think about it. So I made him one in a dark gray, and I'll have to either post about it on here or put it on my Instagram page so you can see how it turned out. But I made it just like this with the same amount of stitches cast on for the child size, because it fit with this fabric. It made up a perfect fit for an adult to me, that it's not too loose around here. It actually provides warmth. So those are some of my first finished projects of 2024. Oh, and then for those of you that are wondering about the red yarn that I made my son's hat and scarf in, it's just this yarn bee from Hobby Lobby, and it's acrylic, so it's super easy to wash, which is what I wanted for my son and my husband. And I got it on sale. I think it was 30% off at the time of all the yarn. So super affordable way to make things for your family for the winter. The next project I have already made and gifted it to the recipient. So I'm going to attempt to pop in a picture right up here. But what I did was I have started learning how to crochet this year. That's been one of my goals in making for 2024. And I started with a pot holder, which we'll talk about that here in a second. But my first official project after the pot holder was a granny stripe blanket for my daughter's teacher, who is pregnant with a boy. And I had come across some yarn that was given to me by my mother-in-law. Somebody else had it given to them from their mother, and she was no longer with them, and so they were trying to find somebody that could get good use out of the yarn. And I said, of course, I'd love to look at it and see what I can do with it. And she, I guess, crocheted a lot, because there were actually a couple projects in the bag that she had started, this woman, and there was a lot of yarn in different baby colors. And I just thought, I can learn how to work on my crochet stitches. I can do something where I feel like I'm helping somebody else, because that's been really good for me so far this year, is with other stuff going on in my life, that when I get really anxious or stressed and feel like I'm not in control, making something or doing something for somebody else really makes me feel calm. So I started and just finished this week the baby blanket, and it turned out really cute. The yarns that I used, that I found in the stash, were, I think, mostly from Hobby Lobby. Some were more recent than others. So this one is Baby's Blue, this solid blue that you can see in the middle of the blanket. And I used up almost the whole skein. And then the white along the edges was this Baby Bee Sweet Delight Angel in, I guess it's an angel, the color. And then there was a variegated yarn. This one looks like it might be a little bit older. And it's still 100% acrylic. It's Lion brand in the ice cream. So I like to work with some of the nicer indie dyed yarns, but when I'm gifting to people that aren't makers like myself, I really want to give them something that's simple and easy to take care of. So especially with a baby and a project that I was doing for the first time, I wanted to be able to make sure the ends weren't going to come undone and she could throw it in the washing machine, things like that. So my daughter took it to school yesterday and surprised her teacher for Valentine's Day, and it went really well. She was really surprised and excited. So that was a fun thing that I got done. And I do have several other projects that I finished so far in 2024. I've been January was kind of a crazy month for me, where I was just whipping out short little quick projects every couple days or so. I made a bunch of hats, I made a couple cows, and then that blanket was a bigger project. So now let's talk about some of my whips. I actually have 2 whips right now that I'm really working on. I have some other whips that are kind of just set to the side for right now, and we'll get to those in another episode. But I have 2 whips today that I want to talk to you guys about. Okay, so the first one was, like I said, I'm learning how to crochet, and I made some pot holders, and it's called the Turn On Itself Pot Holder by Beverly A. Qualheim. And I came across this free pattern on Ravelry and used it as my first crochet project to practice with some cotton yarn. Let me find the from Hobby Lobby again. I kind of went on a Hobby Lobby kick at the beginning of the year when they had the sale. And this is the color Pewter, and it's 100% cotton. And I cast on, or chained on, I guess. I'm not used to the crochet lingo, but I chained on 40 stitches and made it a little bit bigger. I'd read some reviews on Ravelry, and they talked about if you chained on 30, I think is what the original pattern called for, that it was a little bit small. And I didn't want to do all that and then it be too small, so I tried out 40, and it turned out really cute. I don't think I really need the hanger, but I wanted to do the pattern like it called to see. And then this is my all-time favorite color, this pretty aqua. And so I'm making a second one to go with my kitchen colors. So I also have made another set of pot holders in a smaller size that I already gifted to somebody this year, and it was in a really pretty red and white. And if I can find some more of that red and white yarn at Hobby Lobby, I'm gonna go buy some more and see if I can make some up to put away for Christmas gifts potentially, because it turned out really cute with a kind of a red and white marled effect. My next whip that I'm working on right now, I started a couple days ago. Again, I have some leftover of that red acrylic yarn, and I have been making hats, like I said. Without going into too many details, I have somebody really close to me that is fighting cancer right now, and I learned recently that at the cancer center, they have a little bin of hats people have donated, and the patients can feel free to take them. So I wanted to make a goal of making at least 2 hats a month this year that I can take up and donate. So I started making another one of the classic cuffed hats by Pearl Soho. And I'm kind of using up, this is the gray actually of my husband's cowl, and then the red from my son's project. And I was kind of playing around with it. So when you cuff it up, it'll be a cute gray brim and red, just solid red. So still simple, could be for a man or a woman, but a fun little pop of color to wear. And I really like with this acrylic yarn how this pattern is working up. I'm using size 7 needles, and that seems to be working well. I love knitting with circular needles, and look how cute these little stitch stoppers are. My mom gave me, did she give them to me for Christmas? Oh goodness, I can't remember when. It might have been last fall, but I know some people can knit and not use these, and throw their stuff in their bag, but I cannot. My stitches will fall off. I don't know if I'm just too rough with my project bags or what, but I have to have them. So those are really cute. Thanks, Mom. And the bag that my project for my hat is in this really cute bag I wanted to show you guys by Whimsy Stitches. If you can see that. But it's got cute little llamas all over it. And I got this bag at DFW Fiber Fest in the fall. It's my second year attending, and this is so well made. I mean, it goes everywhere with me because it's a clear bag policy for my kids' school. So I can easily take it to events when I'm just sitting around waiting for the next kids' activity. and I can hang it off my arm and knit while I walk, which I don't do very much, but I'm trying to get better at not looking at my knitting while I'm working. But yeah, so those are some things that I've been working on, and I've got some other stuff planned, but that's what we're gonna talk about for today. Okay, I do have some haul. I don't always have haul, but I had a fun surprise come in the mail last week. My mom sent me a little surprise, and it is, I guess it's a Valentine colorway from Yarn Love, which I have never gotten yarn from them before. I don't think she had either, but she saw the color and immediately bought one for her and one for me. This is Punta Arenas DK in the colorway Velvet Noir, and it's 100% superwash merino. It says 100 grams, about 246 yards. So I think she has already wound hers and is knitting something with it. So I need to do that too. I think this might be, I'm thinking on what it's going to be, and then I will be starting that as soon as I finish the first donation hat. So, but it is such a beautiful colorway, especially for Valentine's. So yeah, thanks Mom again. I like to tease her that she's an enabler, but I think we do it to each other, so I guess that's fair. So the last thing on this channel I want to talk about today is just some plans I have coming up for knitting and crochet. And as far as crochet goes, I'm going to keep working on my pot holder, and I don't really know what yet. My daughter, actually, let me start over. Talking to yourself in a camera is the weirdest feeling. So the project that I have this year that is my big goal for 2024 is a cardigan. It's called the Eva cardigan by Petite Knit. I will hopefully be able to put something in right here. But I just fell in love with it last fall and bought yarn for it, and the yarn's already wound and I need to just start swatching. So that is my goal before the end of February, is to start swatching for that. Last year was my first year to knit a garment. I made a short sleeved top, and I actually made 2 short sleeve tops. So that was my goal last year, was to make one thing I could wear as a top. This year, my goal is to make some kind of long sleeved sweater. So I really want to make that cardigan. And I actually bought some more yarn for another top that would be short sleeved back during September for DFW Fiberfest. And so I've got several projects lined up, as well as some assigned pooling yarn, which I've never worked with before, but I bought several skeins back then. So I have a lot of really beautiful yarn that's just waiting to be knit. But right now, I've just been so focused on some things that I want to be able to do for other people around me. And I don't think there's anything bad about pushing that other stuff to the side and kind of being flexible and changing your plans. So that's what I'm going to do. But I do want to at least get that initial part started. You know, some days you need that really challenging project, and then other days you need to just crochet a granny stripe all the way down, turn around, all the way back. Know what I mean? So, all that being said, I hope everybody that's watching this had some kind of good thing in their life today, and I would love to hear about it down below. I will try to come back here in a couple weeks with some updates on my whips and some new starts, hopefully. And in the meantime, I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your February. Bye, everybody.